Network Entertainment.
Hi, this is Let's Talk. I'm Beyond Veros. On this podcast, what we do is we unbox, unpack, and decode issues, matters, topics, incidents, including tragedies, such as this most recent one. There was a shooting at the Ateneo de Manila University just 3 days ago in the city of Zamboanga. And this most recent incident has shocked very many people, the entire country, as a matter of fact. And it's very difficult to talk about something like this because it involves loss of life and an entire community, a community in the Ateneo de Zamboanga, and the community of the city of Zamboanga itself, and the country at large, of course. Now, joining me on this episode to talk about this in a very deliberate, very careful, and very mindful way are two people I respect very much. First is the Vice Mayor of the city of Zamboanga, Vice Mayor Beng Climaco. She was mayor before also, and as the show progresses, we're going to find out more about her background, which is going to be very helpful as we talk about this, of course. And another of my guests, a very well respected resource person who has been interviewed many times over for television and for many other media, is Dr. Randy Deliosa. He is a psychiatrist and clinical psychologist. So, Dr. Deliosa and Vice Mayor Climaco, thank you very much for joining us on this show today. I'd like to begin with Vice Mayor Climaco, Vice Mayor Beng. I remember on the morning of Tuesday, late, I think that was around mid morning, it looked like what you were trying to do was to, control the situation and keep everyone informed nonetheless. So I wanted to ask you first about that, ma'am, how that morning unfolded for you and why it was very important for the LGU to do that given the situation. Ma'am Beng, Vice Mayor Beng.
Buenas tardes, Dr. Randy, Ma'am Pia, and our listeners. That day on the 18th, I received a call from our CDRMO, and immediately we already instructed them to have a command center in the Ateneo de Zamboanga because of the shooting. And I called on Father Ernald. I used to be the guidance counselor of the Ateneo High School, but it was in the old campus. It's very important that number one, we look at the situation, let the responders do their work, but most importantly, protect our children, protect the community of the school, of which Ateneo has already implemented because days before, they were planning for simulation exercises because of that very unfortunate incident that happened in Tacloban. Those parents thought that at that day when it happened, it was a simulation exercise. In fact, en route to school, my nephew hitched with me because we were fetching our granddaughter, yung kanyang pamangkin. And we forgot about instances like this, and they were calling the parent, and the parent saying, no, it's just only a simulation exercise. So very important in crisis management is number one, we establish the safety of everyone on the ground. Make sure that you take control of the situation, have all the responders present, the police, the military, the CDRMO, and emergency responders. And I've spoken to Father Ernald, and immediately we met, and I discovered that there were two fatalities, and eventually we really had to come up and inform the public what was happening because Doc Randy and Mampia, very sad that this incident was broadcasted in the live feed, and people saw the actual carnage or actual shooting incident. That is why we had to also inform the public and the parents and assuage them. And while doing so, the school officials, together with the team of the Ateneo de Zamboanga, they took care of the children. They calmed them down, and then the parents were able to bring their children home. But unfortunately, the bags of the kids and even the teachers were left in the school. Immediately, Ateneo de Zamboanga, Doc Randy conducted the first aid debriefing, and I could really sense children panicking, crying, and I had to hug some of them with the parents being fetched. Some parents were agitated because they couldn't contact their children. But I think from the incident that happened at 7:45, by 8:06, the responders were there. The police, I think in no less than 5 or 10 minutes, was already in the area because the city of Zamboanga has established the security for particular schools, and they were responded immediately, and even the barangay. So immediately when we called for that briefing with the school, we just made sure that everything was already secured, and eventually we spoke to the public.
Well, it was actually very calming to hear you speak and Father Andal together. Tas magkakasama kayo. Kasama pa nga si former Congressman Celso Lobregat, kasama din ng local police. It was very, very calming to see that. And I think, in a way, I know this sounds strange to say, but it was like a master class in crisis management. Of course, it was a very serious situation, so it's not like anybody was trying to teach anything. But I think people appreciated that, ma'am, no, and it was good to see so that other LGUs could also. I mean, syempre hindi naman tayo umaasa na may ganon or any other incident, pero kumbaga ma'am, ganun dapat, no? And is that something that's already built into cities?
Perhaps I think that with what I have went through, my baptism of fire in the Zamboanga siege, plus the global pandemic, and the national government always drumming support for the incident command system that we had a training, it was second
Mm.
nature for us with the good support of the CDRMO that when there is a crisis or an incident, you do not jump and go to the situation directly, but you allow the responders to act immediately, and once it's clear, then you respond. But I had to make sure that being the acting mayor at that time, we have to go on the ground and secure the place and see how it was done. And I would like to also thank all the responders, even our maintenance personnel of the Ateneo de Zamboanga. Doc Randy, I feel I've never left Ateneo de Zamboanga. I am just on sabbatical since I was taken because of government work by God's grace. I am part of the family, and I think, Pampi, it's very personal to me because eventually, as I think what we will unravel today is the consequences of the actions that you have to provide psychological stress debriefing for our children, and we took care of them. And after that press conference, we went to the talk to the teachers. There were 2 boys or 3 boys who were not fetched by their parents. I just had to console them, and looking at Father Andal, it was second nature. But this is something that I think some of my colleagues hugged me, and there were teachers who were afraid because I was looking for the teacher on that classroom where the incident happened. And really, eventually, what would come out were blaming. So I think, Mampia, you can moderate this because I've told the teacher, I am one with you, we are one with you, and the city government is here. And we like to assure you that we will be with this. And first, we have to thank our teachers for bravely taking care of the children and putting their lives as a priority over theirs.
Mhm. Allow me, ma'am, lang just to say because you mentioned your baptism of fire, and for those who are not aware or did not monitor that situation, that was 13 years ago, no, nung nagka-siege sa Zamboanga City. Ngayon, the other thing there was how also the school authorities, the administration itself was well cooperated, no, and yun na nga faced the media and the public together with you and yung local police. So magandang makita yon na para bang it was very like I said, nakakakalma talaga. So the other thing, and like you said, ma'am, since you had taught before at the Ateneo de Zamboanga, although not in that campus, and you were a counselor also ng Center for Family Ministries. And then I wanted to bring in Doc Randy first. So Doc Randy, uh, yesterday, Wednesday, sorry, I had monitored your interview on ANC with Karen Davila, and it was very interesting that you mentioned four predictors, no? And I think this is going to be very helpful. And I wanted not just to repeat it, but for you to expound on it even more. This is very helpful, lalo na in this age of social media, in this age of technology, na yung mga anak natin lahat medyo babad sa ganoon. And like you had said in that interview, first there is that when you talk about the predictors, yung leakage of intention. And then yung second is acute grievances, meaning meron silang ikinagagalit. The third one is the access to weapons. And the fourth is fascination uh, with, okay, I can't read my notes right now, but there is that so-called grooming. So, Doc Randy, I wanted you to be able to explain that. And syempre po, there are parents who are listening and watching, and young people also. So magandang pag-usapan natin ito so that we can get, although we are not saying, kasi nga we cannot naman po get ahead of the investigation as it is also going on, as the Vice Mayor said, and as we are already aware. But this is going to be very helpful for us. So can you discuss that for us now, Doc Randy?
So first of all, thank you, Pia, and thank you, Vice Mayor Beng, for us being here together, because this is something very important to discuss, and we really need to be proactive and strategic about this incident that happened. So, Pia, you mentioned about the four predictors, no, that I mentioned. The first, of course, is about some perhaps grievance. Okay, hindi kailangan grievance sa school, no? Pero sabihin na lang natin, basta may galit, may galit na namuo and probably kinimkim, tinago, and there was no outlet. Okay, so the kid would just be a volcano waiting to explode. Okay,
Okay.
besides
So parang
anger,
walang exhaust valve. Walang
yes,
exhaust valve. Okay.
walang
And when you
exhaust
say
valve.
exhaust valve or outlet, what do you mean exactly? So that for parents who are watching now and listening, anong klaseng exhaust valve, anong klaseng outlet ang pwedeng ma-provide natin?
Yes, well, let me qualify. Meron pala silang exhaust valve. Okay, and that would be probably the games that they play. Unfortunately,
Okay.
they might get attracted to violent games, aggressive games, just to exhaust the uh, energy of the anger that they have. So it is an outlet, hindi lang magandang outlet. Okay? So it's good for parents and any older person, the guardians, to wonder why they get attracted to such games. Okay? However, Pia and Vice Mayor Beng, I also want to remind people, we don't also want to blame everything on Roblox or video games. Kasi naman, how many millions naman are playing Roblox or Counter-Strike or Dota or these games, no? And they don't go shooting people naman. So we have to clarify, this is an exception, okay? And this is totally abnormal. So that's the first predictor kapag may galit. Pangalawa, I mentioned about leakage. Okay, ang ibig sabihin ng leakage of intention, meron na silang nasabihan na tao, probably, uy, galit ako, or ay, gusto kong gumanti, or ay, I'm so angry. These are already red flags just because they have emotional charge with their anger. Okay, and this already has to be reported kaagad. So this was a gap. This was a gap in the whole incident. Probably he told someone and it wasn't picked up. Whereas dapat ni-report na kaagad para may gawing solution na. So that would fall under identification of the leakage and the reporting, and dapat meron ng management kaagad within those days itself. Dapat mabilis yung management eh. The third predictor would be fascination with tactical gear or violent
Mm.
anything violent, guns. So just because may fascination, you already have to wonder, bakit naakit sila? Diba? And lastly, the other predictor is, of course, this would never have happened if there was no access to guns. So that was
Mhm.
another gap. Bakit nakakuha ng baril yung batang ito, and now it has to be a resolution of all parents and guardians to think, kung may baril kayo, you really have to secure it strictly, well, thinking that the kids would be curious enough to get hold of it and play with it and experiment with it. So now that is a
Mhm.
rule. We always have to keep it, secure.
Doc Randy, when you say yung fascination with tactical gear, because there are people, even young people who are play with toy guns, for example. You're not, hindi nyo naman nilalahat yan na parang in the same way na hindi lahat ng naglalaro ng video games ay may problema, right? Kasi hindi
Okay.
naman sila lahat. Oo. Just to
Yes.
clarify.
Yes. So let's change the word. Siguro the better word would be obsession. Okay.
Okay.
It's not just it's not just let's see an interest in guns. Okay, because anyone can be curious about guns or interested in it, but here it's about obsession. And when we talk about obsession or fascination, our mind revolves around this thing lang. Okay, and then we get addicted to the thought of it, and we have the compulsion to actually get hold of it and play with it or use it.
Mm, okay. Obsession and compulsion.
Correct.
Okay. So and then yung isang sinasabi ninyo na yung access to weapons. So what you're saying is a combination of these four predictors is like parang it's the perfect storm for everything, because you can be someone could be angry, someone could be obsessed, but there is no access to the weapon, and therefore hindi mangyayari yung ganito, halimbawa. Or pwedeng galit siya pero hindi naman siya obsessed sa weapons, and then meron siyang pwedeng kausapin, or someone will help this child or adult or whoever speak to kung sino man yung ikinagagalit niya, parang ganon. Is that what you mean also, Doc Randy?
Yes. Yes, I mean that. Pero Pia, while you were talking, another predictor came up. Okay, in
Yeah.
my mind, and the fifth predictor is a pep squad to to actually prompt the kid to do the thing.
Okay.
And that's exactly what happened. Because if you think about it, no, naka body cam siya, and it's really like, no, that's exactly what you would see when you're playing the game.
Mhm.
Okay?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
naka-live stream. So what does that imply? It implies that he had an audience, or he had a following, or he
Mhm.
hoped that he would have a following. And, this video becomes now the trophy, because now he can brag about it. That's why this is a trophy that should not be published, posted, because it just gives potential perpetrators to study it and to
Mhm.
improve on what he did.
Mhm. You're saying, of course, that this was streamed live on, I think it was Facebook, no? And so you're saying, and I don't know at this moment kung na-take down na ba ng Facebook. So do we already know that it has been taken down by, I mean, it should be taken down by Facebook, right?
It's almost useless to take it down sa Facebook. They
Yeah,
should.
because
Pero it's all
oo.
over social media.
Yeah. Pero yung what I'm saying is, of course, ang daming nang nag-share, and then yung may mga nakakita. Pero yung kumbaga yung original nun, yung kumbaga the platform itself, I mean, they have guidelines, they have safeguards and everything, and they know what it is. So they should be able to take it down, unless of course it has already been taken down, right?
Correct. So this is where the platform, social media platform, has to monitor the content of what's being posted, and they have to comply with their own community rules. Because this
Mhm.
is their biggest fault. They themselves go against their own rules. And in my own experience, I have even been gaslighted by
Mhm.
these social media platforms, because when I report to them uh, content that shouldn't be there, they actually tell me that it doesn't go against their community
Yeah,
rules.
yeah. There's a lot more. Ilang beses na yan, and sunod-sunod na yan eh, sa dami ng insidente, and then people react or comment and whatever, tapos ganun ang sinasabi ng mga social media platforms na yan. But I wanted to, at this point muna, Doc Randy, I wanted to bring Vice Mayor Beng into again the discussion. So ma'am, syempre no, so nag-counselor kayo, tapos nag-teacher din kayo sa Ateneo de Zamboanga. Like you said, you had to embrace some of the students and deal with the teachers also. When when you were listening to yung mga sinasabi ni Doc Randy, yung mga predictors na yon, what was going through your mind? Were there situations that had been preempted because nakapag-counseling, nakausap, nagkaroon ng exhaust valve, nagkaroon ng that opportunity to unburden himself or herself.
Well, Doc Randy and Ma'am Pia, I think for our generation Xers, the digital gap and divide is very wide. I'd like to
Yeah.
thank friend of mine through the Senate also of Senator Riza, Alfred Ari G. Regino. When that incident happened, he sent me his material on what we call the nihilistic violent extremism. This is a reality that is happening and is slowly creeping communities, societies, and even eating up families, because it's no longer something that's idealistic, nor is it religious. It is developing, as what Doc Randy says, tapping on vulnerable young people with their experiences. As what you said, it can be a social isolation, emotional distress, and exposed to online violent threats. And then you mimic, you groom, and you glorify mass attackers, and in serious cases may lead to threat. What is happening is what we've seen, the first person shooter type of game wherein you see in action through the character's point of view, that what they call the eye and the use of weapons. Games like
Mhm.
Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, Mobile Legends, PUBG, and popular shooter games that, if brought into actual life, will really eventually cause harm. So I have, upon hearing from the 2 or 3 days experience, getting from Father Ernald, Father Joel Liwanag, who I think is a masteral or doctoral degree on crisis counseling, and the DepEd, I've presented 10 recommendations. First, we have to strengthen family wellness programs. I remember instituting family parenting sessions in the Ateneo before, and that is, Doc Randy, please correct me. We really need to support the parents, because even if the child manifests behavior, we think it's very normal for them to play video games. But these are online groups that have other people infiltrating them unknowingly. A parent will not know, because they digital language right now will mask certain terminologies if the parents are watching, and somebody at the back of that digital space will direct them to prove to them what they can do. Thus, this will lead to further harm. Secondly, there is a very important conduct of what we call the NVE orientations for LGUs, schools, and barangays, because we do not know what to spot or the red flags. Then, improve the direct and rapid reporting of credible online threats. What happened to Sir Randy was that the Philippines have to pass through, let's say, foreign channels like the FBI if they want to report about this incident, and they will have to check. And by the time they see a child saying, "I will kill you," etc., it is too late, it has been done. But there are also instances wherein there have been reported immediate referral to PNP. There was a direct coordination between the platform safety teams, designated PNP cybercrime threat assessments, and we were able to save people. So a layered process is something that is not needed, but directly through the Philippine National Police, which I think a recommendation is the national government must really designate a point person on the national level to take care of this new very challenging threat of these nihilistic violent games. Next, we have to strengthen the age verification of online child protection unit through the DICT, wherein we require stronger age verification or assurance systems. Removing the, I think, social media from the Philippines as a teacher is not going to be counterproductive, because there are, if we look at it, there are greater opportunities for our pupils to learn online, but should also be safety measures. Number 6, we have to expedite the deployment and training of school counselor associates. Secretary Angara told us yesterday, because the guidance and counseling law is very strict, I myself am not a licensed guidance counselor, we are not able to really professionally utilize it, but it does not prevent me from doing family counseling. So we have to expedite the planned 10,000 school counselor associates to help us. And number 7, make mental health services accessible through the Department of Health, more affordable, neater, and easier to access services that should be available to children. Then integrate the NVE awareness into the DSWD family and child protection programs, what we call the online sexual abuse and exploitation of children. And finally, the national government, Ma'am Pia and Doc Randy, should designate a national lead agency on NVE through the Office of the CABSEC, for example, that the NVE must establish an interagency mechanism to the DILG, PNP, DSWD for child protection bodies. We need to establish the protocols. And number 10, strengthen gun protocols on gun responsibility and safekeeping. Because if we look at the incidents in Zamboanga, there have been children who committed, unfortunately, self-harm through, accordingly, suicide. They got the guns and access it from the parents. So we are calling on the military or the police or the security personnel that all licensed gun holders, including members of security sector, must securely store their firearms and keep them out of reach of unauthorized persons, especially minors. The PNP should strictly enforce existing laws and penalties to strengthen responsible gun ownership. Otherwise, instead of protecting, we will cause harm. So what happened to the Ateneo de Zamboanga High School shows that our response dito on the LGU should not end with crisis management. The response should start with education, orientation, information, protection, and prevention. So I would like to give way to Dr. Randy also to share his very important views, Doc.
Sige, Doc Randy, go ahead.
Yes, can you prompt me, Pia?
Okay, ang daming na-bring up ni Vice Mayor Beng, but so first, itong NVE na nga, no? And she's saying that there should be on the national level an agency and a point person to handle this. In other words, it shouldn't be, I suppose what we're also saying is it shouldn't be just like a scattered effort, no? Talagang it has to be a national level government agency effort already. We don't need another incident. We just came from the Tacloban incident, and here we are again. There were other incidents in other areas also. Also, it's quite concerning yung sinabi nga ni Vice Mayor Beng, yung guidance counselors, for example, na ano yun, kailangan of a certain level. Tapos, itong an online child protection system, and then this whole
Mm.
idea of having to go through all these layers before we can actually address a situation or even preempt or prevent one.
Yes. Okay. So I'd like to talk about NVE first, or nihilistic violent extremism. And it's very easy to understand violence and extremism. But let's study a little bit what nihilism is. And nihilism is really the loss or lack of purpose and meaning in life. And these are kids. And so again, this should make us wonder, why are kids nihilistic? Why do they already lack meaning and purpose in life at such a young age? And so my guess is, of course, baka there's an underlying depression, or baka there's something happening within their families that makes them feel down. And because of this underlying depression that makes them nihilistic, then they become more vulnerable by these syndicates, okay, that, as Vice Mayor Beng says, intrudes into these side chats of the platforms to manipulate people. And they're very good at what they do, because when they spot people who are vulnerable, they can do it subtly. Like they can extort or sextort, and then they can uh, manipulate the person to hurt himself first or herself, hurt animals, and then level up to hurting others, and perhaps like what happened now, kill others. So this is their modus operandi, and it's very scary because how can you catch people like this? This is exactly what Ma'am Risa is doing. Hopefully, she has success in doing this, catching them. I mean,
Mhm.
But Doc Randy and Ma'am Pia, we see the digital divide is such, and the terminologies are very fast, but the groomers are just prowling to look and spot the cause of destruction of the family. Being nihilistic, you lose hope. And the question of the parents that we've met, was that, how could it happen to my child? My child is very intelligent. My child is academically doing very good. My child is a very good child. What happened? And we are put at the gray area on this matter, at the blank wall, looking at the blank wall. And so it really points down to, I guess, and I think, and I really believe that number one, being nihilistic, you lose hope in life. You conduct behaviors that are very daring, and you look for the audience because you want attention. And unfortunately, that attention can be by the click of the fingers. You go on live to do very strange, harmful behavior that will, again, make you have a lot of followers and likes, just precisely because we need validation nowadays. So my message when I looked at this, Doc Randy, please correct me, and I'm so thankful you are here. Perhaps you can also debrief me. My message was sa ating mga kabataan, sa mga batang nakikinig, kids, we love you. Your parents are here, the government is here. We do not want you to waste your life because you have a future. So let Papa and Mama and government assist you on how we can be able to show to you that your future is brighter and better, and be very conscious about who you communicate with in social media, because there is more to your life than this.
Doc Randy, what do you think of that message?
I'm very happy that si Vice Mayor Beng is psychologically oriented, so she can participate in these governance and leadership activities, and yet she has this psychological mindedness, no, and that's a big help. So just to add na lang, I'd like to say, Pia, we talked about the four, now five predictors, pero I want
Yeah.
to say also that there's of course a backstory to that. Okay, and the backstory is always the
Backstory.
family. Yes.
Mm.
I mean, even if you had guns, even if you had anger, previous to that, or aside from those, there's the family. Okay.
Mhm.
And we have to go back to family dynamics. Is there a lack
Yeah.
of family bonding? Is there a lack of open communication? Is there some, are they just copying or affected by their parents' behaviors? Okay.
Mm.
Is there no sense of belonging in their family? That's why they have to resort to belonging to a Discord or video game group. Okay,
Mhm.
so uh, this is the backstory, no? That if we pay attention to, this is where the prevention will be coming from,
Mhm.
and that's why
Okay.
Vice Mayor Benga can talk like this, because she has experience as a fam, and she knows the importance of family dynamics.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
so
would
Okay.
like,
included.
Here's
I
Yeah.
would just like to add, interject. Pia and I are married to men in uniform. And I
mm, mm,
remember I had to adjust when I was married to my husband. We would sleep, but with us are his baby Armalites. So it's something that
hindi naman.
I'm not used to. I mean, it's just beside the weapons. In fact, he bought me as a gift for my birthday a pink 9mm, and he told me to fire until I had stitches, no? But as what Dr. Randy was saying, you look at these guns as adults, but what if it goes into possession of children? Children
Mm.
of people in the military in the past or police grow up well with the guns, well oriented. And yet, nowadays, in this generation, there is the divide. If a child does not feel I belong, if there is a breakdown in marital relationship, if there are concerns of peer pressure and bullying, then that
Mm.
breakdown and channel is brought into another dynamic where they have an audience that will affirm who they are.
Mm.
And thus,
Mm.
because of their capacity to accept and undergo stress that is very limited, there is a breakdown, and thus that breakdown can be exhibited either in failing grades, in agitated behavior, but sad to know it can also go at the end of the pendulum with violence, self-harm of others as well.
Mhm. Well, just to ano, qualify lang. So retired na yung husband ko and he
Ah,
never slept naman with his baby Armalite. Thank you, Lord. Pero and then dati naalala ko as in lock and key. Naka-vault yan yung ano barrel before. And very very parang awareness is very helpful. But I also wanted to ask more from you, Vice Mayor Beng, again, because nga ang ganda ng background, yung counseling nga sa CEFAM, which is Center for Family Ministries. And for those who are watching and listening, please, if you have any concerns, you need counselors, you need someone to talk to, tumawag lang po kayo sa CEFAM. Hanapin ko ngayon yung number. Hindi ko alam kung nandito. But while we're talking, Doc Randy and Vice Mayor Beng, I'll look for the number. But um uh and para bang in a way parang how do we say it, preventive and preemptive. Kanina 'di ba Doc Randy ang sinasabi nyo yung the kind of family and the atmosphere, the kind of relationship. Of course wala namang perfect family at wala namang tao na walang problema, but if there is a loving family atmosphere and support for all the children, for all the members of the family, napakalaking bagay yon, I suppose, no? And then, if there is an issue, a problem, something that is bothering any one of the children, at that child is encouraged to talk about it. Kung hindi with the family or with someone outside the family, he or she can trust. I guess, Doc Randy, that is a big thing, right? And I will look for the number of Stefan para maano natin.
Exactly. Yes, you are both of you are very right in emphasizing the importance of family bonding and family belongingness and family open communication. You can't just what do you call this? You can't just force it to happen because
Mm-mm.
it had to have started right from the beginning. But there's always hope, you know. If and Vice Mayor Beng knows this, if parents have difficulty in opening up with their children, this is always the best time to start.
Yes.
So yes, they can have communication between them.
That is why, Doc Randy, we spoke to Secretary Rex Gatchalian. We want to make
Mm-mm.
the DSWD family focus group discussions available also for parents, not only those belonging to the four-piece, but if allowed by COA, the Philippine government should spend its resources in continuing and developing, helping parents become better
Mm-mm.
parents, helping couples, like what we do in CEFAM in Ateneo, helping couples communicate better so that they will be able to have a strengthened and enhanced family. Because the family
Mm-mm.
is really the foundation of every community, and this is where we need to put resources of government to develop, because if the family is dynamics, the foundation of the family is strong, then the community will be able to thrive, and if the community thrives, then there is progress, not necessarily in terms of resources, but definitely the right concepts, the right mind, and the right outlook in life. There is security, there is peace, there is love, and there is greater belief in life, and there is meaning in life rather than look at hopelessness and nihilism.
Mm-mm. Mayor, Vice Mayor Beng, I wanted to ask you earlier. You were reading that long list, no, and then, uh, we were talking about national level government effort. So in other words, it's hindi nga parang scattered, or para bang ang nangyayari sa atin, pag may nangyayari, magre-react tayo, pag-uusapan natin, and then, it's like a cycle, no? It's like the floods. But um, is there a an idea that's already brewing? Like, we have DICT, like you said, there's DSWD, there's DepEd, and we don't want to just add another layer of bureaucracy. What we want is bureaucracy to work for us so that we can address a situation like this. Do you have an idea, or napag-usapan ba, even informally among counselor circles, psychology circles? Meron bang ganon?
I've just learned about NVE through my friend Ari, but I've submitted my recommendation to the secretaries, the cabinet secretary, and the DILG secretary. In that recommendation, Pia, it will already task the agency that this is what they need to do so that they will be able to have action points. And I think we can start with that, and from that build on, because there are already existing programs that are done. What is just needed is for greater funding for orientation, like even the police women this day, the PCR and the women's desk, they already know about these concepts. The schools
Mhm.
know basic concepts about this. That's why they have their programs on child protection. What we need
Right.
more is that the national government, and very important, Pia, journalists like you, bring this into the open so that there would be greater interest. And I think I myself, I will be 60 this September. I will really have to bridge that gap and adapt myself and really challenge myself to say, ano ba itong mga bago sa digital space? Ayaw kong maiwanan, kailangan kong gawin to kasi sa pamamaraan na ito, makakatulong ako sa ating mga kabataan. And if we can only save 1, 2, 3 families, we can really be able to make a dent in society. So there is already in this recommendation the specific agency that has to do it. For example, I recommended the improved direct and rapid reporting on credible threats. Who should do it? It's the PNP and the DILG. They have to designate a 24/7 Philippine law enforcement contact point. clear criteria of credible and imminent threat, immediate referral to the police, etc. So there's already, I think, some points that they can work on, and I believe that being professionals in their field, they can just tweak it. And I'm sure, Doc Randy, it is incumbent upon us in the field of counseling and psychology to also learn about these threats that are happening. I used to think of countering violent extremism, but again, this kind of extremism is taking its toll on the family and the children and the identities of the children. We have to also guard ourselves, learn from it, and then be able to respond. And we are calling on the community, our community of counselors, our community of leaders as well in the field of psychology to work on it. And I hope, Doc Randy, and I'm sure because of what you have shared with us, you have thoughts to help us respond to this.
Hey there! Alex Calleja here. Bakit ako nandito? Kasi gusto kong ipaalam sa'yo na may podcast din ako. It's called Punchline with Alex Calleja. I talk about everything. Serious, happy, sad, pero sa dulo, may punchline or may comedy. Again, it's Punchline with Alex Calleja. Available on Spotify o kung saan ka man kumukuha o naikinig ng podcast. Namumukhaan kita, nilista ko pangalan mo, kaya see you there.
Anyways, we were saying that this recommendation that I have from what we have experienced is that it already puts the lead agency as to act on it. For example, if you want to improve the rapid reporting of credible online threats, or I remember there are words, you have AI capacities of our social media responders that are in the field, then if there are words such as kill, words of threats or demolish, etc., these are some red flags that their AI can assess, and through the Philippine government, and we will task the PNP, the ILG to act on it with the 24/7 lead agency on this, then we will be able to act immediately and be able to save lives. But we also say that adults such as us and parents need proper orientation on this developing trend, because I don't know, Doc Randy, in our DSM we will not find this.
What is DSM, ma'am? Ano yung DSM?
Doc, it's a
Diagnostic.
glossary.
Diagnostic.
It's a manual of our psychiatric diagnoses.
Okay.
It lists the different manifestations or disorders. And I'm not sure if this kind of reality is included there. And I was telling Doc Randy, we in the community, and that's Miss Pia, that is where we need to also learn from. We need our crash course 101, and then we will also need to elicit the support of the Gen Zs to come in,
Yes.
and millennials to really fight the battle, to win the battle for our children. And thinking about this, I really had to pray to Saint Carlo Acutis.
That's right. The patron saint of technology and social media, because he gumawa siya ng website, di ba, to promote
For
the
the Eucharist.
something, no? And he is looked up to. So many young people look at him as like a patron saint already. Okay. Pero okay. I like how you put it, ma'am, to win the battle for our children. Which is what this is actually. Hindi po ba? Doc Randy.
Okay, yes, I'm very happy that Vice Mayor is doing what she can. And perhaps I could add to that. I would wish that the counseling centers of schools and universities be creative in trying to reach out to their students and helping them open up. Because kung nakapaskil lang dyan, counseling services, 9 to 5 p.m., konti lang pupunta, di ba? Who wants to, there, even with the students and even with the Gen Z, there might be some stigma on their own to get help for themselves.
Mhm.
So now the counseling centers in the schools have to come up with creative means, creative ideas. Na, it might not seem like counseling, it might not seem like psychologically oriented, pero
Yeah.
sinisingit yung sharing, yung discussion, para
Yeah.
doon nila ma-detect, ma-identify kung meron nga silang mga nihilism or depression, violent or self-harm tendencies. Yeah. I'll give
Mhm.
an example, Pia. Ako, I'm a healer of sorts, no? I do acupuncture, I do massage. You know why I do those? Kasi some people won't come to me as a psychiatrist. Pero when I
Mhm.
do acupuncture, hinahaluan ko na ng talk therapy. Do you think I'm really
Mhm.
massaging because I do it primarily? No. Pero while I massage or do some body therapy, I let them talk. Okay? So,
Mhm.
sinisingit ko yung mga activities na to. And, it's a matter of creativity for the counselors and the teachers na
Right.
mag-open up yung students, ipa-open up yung
Yeah.
students.
Oh. As a matter of fact, pwede namang kahit hindi ka counselor, well, I'm not teaching this sem. Next sem na lang ako babalik. In Ateneo de Manila, I teach an elective broadcast journalism. It would be also helpful, I guess, na um, pag-usapan kahit anong subject. I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, we can't pretend that it's not happening and just because our subject is what? Science or English or math, di ba? I mean, parang ganyan naman tayo ngayon eh. Free flowing. It would be good to talk
Yes.
about it so that students who, if they either they feel burdened or they feel scared or afraid because of what happened or have questions in their minds, and it's always good to just talk. And like Doc Randy, di ba kanina sabi mo, mag-acupuncture ka, magmamassage ka, but you give your patients the chance to talk, which is in itself like an exhaust valve, I suppose, di ba? Parang ako nga, when I feel bad about something and I'm able to talk about it, na para kang nabubunutan ng tinik, parang ganon.
Of course. Yes. In fact, sometimes I think that the acupuncture and massage is just placebo. I think it's really them opening up and talking and somebody listening. Baka yun nga yung mas nakakapag-heal eh.
I think
Mm-mm.
in informal sectors, I go to the Ateneo campus to hear mass, and I am surrounded by young people. And just randomly, I look at young people. I see them. Sometimes I have this sensitivity ever since I was a teacher, especially for those that are vulnerable. And I was once very quiet, and I just try to reach out to them. And my goodness, I just feel so happy when a boy that feels left out comes and tells me, you know what? I'll tell you something. And it starts talking about family. And I'm very, very thankful that, my goodness, if you allow a person to just unburden and open up
Yeah.
to you and tell you his concerns, wow, at least it doesn't pay so much, but for somebody just to listen to them and make them the center of your attention, I think it really matters. So even Pia, in our households, we start with our family, with the caregivers, with our co-workers. Even if we just listen to them, and sometimes I say, oh, kumusta na kayo? Even kanina, we haven't eaten at, I think, 2 o'clock already. But you spend time and, then you realize, hindi ako nakakain. Yung kasama ko si Garnet, hindi pa rin pa pala nakakain. And these are very important things that it is an awareness of kindness. It's an awareness of listening. Because if we listen, we don't need skills to listen.
Right.
Just
Agree.
telling them, uy, nandyan ka, nakikinig ako sa'yo, kumusta ka na ba? Ganyan.
Mm. Listen lang eh. And it's interesting kasi sa journalist, and this is something I teach also, that yun yung mini-mentor ko sa mga young journalists, and then what I would teach in my broadcast journalism class about listening. And listening nga is, ang sabi nga, active listening, and it's not, listening is like yung parang yung tinatabi mo lang yung iniisip mo, parang nakikinig ka lang. And the more we listen with empathy, the more na the person we are listening to will share and will, and then kung may problema, ma-unburden niya ang sarili niya. So parang makinig lang tayo.
Yeah, and Miss
And
Pia, what is very important, active listening, you make the person feel valued. And that
yes,
is an antidote to nihilism. I feel I'm
yes,
useless, but Doc
yeah.
Randy, I happen to be here and he listened to me. My goodness, mahalaga pa
Yeah.
pala ako.
Yeah, oo. Yung active listening, Ma'am Beng, 'di ba? Since nag-counselor din ka naman kayo sa Center for Family Ministries, and then this is something that we would try to teach to young couples who want to get married sa Discovery Weekend kasi kami ng husband ko, we used to be active. Yung nga yung active listening, yung dialogue, yung and then yung ano ang ganda. And this is something I think parents would like to try. I'm sure there are parents who will be watching and listening to this episode. You try this. It's a dialogue, and then it's a skill in dialogue. So all the sharer, the one, kunyari your child, you want your child to open up, let them talk, and then listen really well. Yung tawag nga active listening, meaning lahat ng iniisip mo itabi mo, and then and this is something we teach dialogue nga sa Discovery Weekend, yung uulitin mo lang yung sinabi ng tao, yung nag-share, because it will help them share more and open up more. And then, like you said earlier, Ma'am Beng, di ba, you feel valued kasi nakinig yung nakikinig sa'yo. And kapag nakita mong nakikinig yung taong yon sa'yo, mas mag-share ka, tapos you will feel na like you said kanina, mahalaga ako kasi nakinig yung taong yun sa akin. And then that's very liberating, di ba? So that's why earlier I was talking about parang let's allow people to talk. It may not be professional counseling, but there's so much, like you said, Doc Randy, there's so much that can be resolved, solved, cured by allowing unburdening, di ba?
Right.
And yung nga, naalala ko tuloy yung active. And then I remember nung hindi naman kami nagtuturo, pero other couples more senior to us dun sa Discovery Weekend, which is a program that is offered by CEFAM for young people who are considering marriage. Na nung una, yung mga young couples who would attend, yung they would be confused, parang, ha? Talaga? It's like a skill, and then it's so mechanical, parang ganun. Talaga, uulitin mo lang, yes, because it also forces you to listen more closely kasi kailangan mong ulitin yung sinabi ng partner mo, or in this case for parents who are listening and watching, yung anak mo, uulitin mo yung sinabi niya, all the more your child will feel better na mom or dad or papa or mama are listening to me, parang ganon. Tama ba yun, Doc Ran? At hindi ako counselor katulad ni Vice Mayor Beng, hindi ako psychiatrist, or that's something just we learned in DW, Discovery Weekend. Na si Father Ruben Tanseco ang nag-start. Yon. Ayun, Doc Randy, sige.
Well, Pia, you're talking like a natural psychologist. So baka you don't even have to, go through psychology. And
Yeah.
really, you're right. Sometimes we don't even need to advise ka. Just the fact that may nakikinig is very helpful already. And right now, what we're doing already is teaching the preventive side. Di ba? Kanina
Yes.
we were talking about what to do, strategies. Ngayon, we're on the preventive side naman, and we're helping people how to enhance their family relationships.
Oo. Preventive. Kaya nga, and again, this is all about marriage. I mean, we don't do marriage counseling. Naalala ko the word preventive. So naalala ko yung isa sa mga natutunan namin dun sa CEFAM, sa mga elders namin sa Discovery Weekend, kay Father Ruben, yung marriage maintenance kung tawagin. So to apply this to our children, and I am going to guess na ganito, and I think it will work. And for parents who are listening and watching, i-try nyo to. Marriage maintenance, like relationship maintenance, family relationship maintenance, is preventive, di ba? So, it's not like, it's like a car. Yun yung isang tinuro sa amin. Kasi what is marriage maintenance? Parang ang very, very cerebral, very ang taas naman, ganun. And then one of the elders, and I think among them si Father Rubeno, say, para lang yan maintenance ng kotse. So, para tumagal ang kotse, ah, may yearly maintenance, may konting sira, may loose ang screw, medyo flat ang tire or whatever, paayos mo na siya, parang ganon. Am I right? Tama ba yon? Vice Mayor Beng, since kayo ang nag-counselor sa CEPAM, you would be in a better position.
Yes, but yeah, it is very important also that we help the couple be able to communicate. And I just like to take note of what you've said for the parents also that would want to communicate and actively listen to the children. It's really a matter of paraphrasing.
Yon, paraphrasing is the word. Oo.
Paraphrasing, yeah. Yung bang sinabi mo, then that's what. And then it will help in the communication for children. But I think, Doc Rans, very important also for us because kids communicate now through Facebook. And if we parents can also adopt that model, although they might be far from their children, just send a text, anak, kumusta na? Mama is here working. Hope you're okay, something like that, and build that bond. But I also, very important when there is this face-to-face interaction is really the eye contact. Remember, Pia, part of that Discovery Weekend is you have eye contact and listening. These are skills that are needed not only for couples but for mom and dad and the kids.
Families to talk, yung eye contact. And then I remember another thing, again, like we were saying, yung mga CEFA, mga marriage counseling, they're very applicable to family relationship, family counseling. Di ba, Vice Mayor Beng, apart from yung eye contact, yung isa na sinasabi sa amin, and sometimes I do that with my kids when we're talking, yung you hold hands. Para may, di ba, Doc Randy, di ba, yung para may physical touch. Di ba, parang yung physical touch, ibang klase yun eh, when somebody, yung pag ginanyan ka, di ba, di ba, Vice Mayor Beng, sabi mo, you would hug the teachers, you would hug the students. Ang laking bagay noon, para kang nabunutan ng tinik, para bang I'm valuable and important.
Just a pat in the back or the head because we are very concerned now about safeguarding
Oh, yeah.
spaces. Just a pat in the back. Uy, anak, Pia, galing-galing mo or Kuya Randy, salamat si Mama is able to listen to you. I'm so proud. Imagine what it would really mean for a child. You don't really have to get I remember my father before when I got a grade of 76 in math. He said, okay lang yun anak, basta pasado ka lang. I said, oh.
Yeah,
It-
oo. Parang, oo. Yeah, and that's something that I would always tell my kids. There were subjects I flunked. Or naka 70, less pa nga, mas mababa pa nga ata. Pero ang grades naman, hindi yan yung, and ito, para sa mga bata na nakikinig, for the kids who are, watching or listening, grades are grades, but they don't define who you are as a person. I mean, hindi naman ako honor student, pero mukhang okay naman ako. Parang ganon, di ba? At saka it's empathy, it's kindness, it's love, di ba? It's how you communicate, yung mga ganon. But anyway, nako, okay. Mabot na
But
tayo sa isang.
I think Ma'am Pia and Doc Randy, from my take on what we're talking about, our challenge after this presentation is building hopeful Filipino children. Hopeful in a way that there is meaning in life, hopeful in a way that I am happy, hopeful in a way that I know that I am listened to and loved and cared.
Doc Randy, you want to respond to that, and then I will ask you now for your final words, para bang summation ng lahat.
Okay. Yes. Siguro
And
three
I
things.
just wanted to say, I just wanted to say na talagang sinadya ko to bring up all these preventive things kasi there are things that can be resolved long before a problem happens kasi.
Right.
So yeah, Doc Randy.
Yes, thank you for that. Three things, no? One is that, isn't it amazing? The three of us are talking about active listening, and then each of us is applying it to our own field. Di ba? Governance, journalism, psychology, psychiatry. We're doing the same thing in our own fields. So that's one. The other thing is, maganda yung napag-usapan natin about touch because touch is the only sense that is reciprocal. You cannot touch without being touched yourself, right? And imagine you just shake a hand and give a sincere blessing, and you yourself are getting a boost, oxytocin boost from that. Okay, because when you touch, oxytocin or the love hormone already gets
Yeah.
produced.
Oo. Lalo
Yes,
na sa
that's
pamilya, di ba? Sa mag-ama, sa mag-ina, ganun. Sa magkapatid.
yes. Eh kung walang anak, they resort to for babies, and some husbands they resort to for guns. Ang mga gun babies. Yeah. And lastly, siguro you're right. Mm, uh, we shouldn't lose hope, and it's about being proactive, being strategic, and rising up from this incident so we can, move on and improve our lives.
Okay. Yun na ba yung final words mo, Doc Randy, or is there something else you would like to add?
I'm just very happy that the Vice Mayor is here and you are here. We are all mental health advocates just because we talk about these things. And I hope that our breed, gets, what do you call that? Expands, becomes more.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Doc Randy. Vice Mayor Beng, Councilor Beng, Teacher Beng.
Well, I always
Mayor
believe
Beng.
that crisis brings out the best in us if we're able to take it head on. And as what Father Nino Tanalayga said to us in the CEFAM before, always leave and make sure that you leave your clients hopeful. From what I have heard, from what I have seen, there is a very big challenge for all of us in our professions to be able to deal with the digital space. It might be a very big divide that we have to cross, but nonetheless, if our willingness to cross the divide will help us improve the lives of children, then it is one way of actively recruiting others to mimic our purpose. And our purpose is to win the battle for our children. And let us help make our children's future a reality today and not tomorrow. Vaya con Dios.
Thank you very much for guesting on this episode of Let's Talk. Vice Mayor Beng Climaco, and like I was saying earlier, a former teacher, former counselor also of Center for Family Ministries, and also Dr. Randy Deliosa, psychologist, wait, parang baliktad yung ginawa ko, clinical psychologist, tama ba? Psychologist and clinical psychiatrist,
Yes.
correct?
I'm a psychiatrist and clinical psychologist.
Psychiatrist and clinical psychologist, and I like, Mayor Beng, what you said, because I think this is what it is, a battle. We must win the battle for our children, and I think, and we will. And I'm just glad that we were able to talk about this in this way also, para merong, so that there is hope, so that parents and young people are listening.
Yeah. And I just like
And
to
we
add,
get, yeah.
our prayers goes out to Ateneo de Zamboanga, not only but the schools in Tacloban and all the families and children that are going through a difficult time. Please know that there is still hope in life and you have a better future by God's grace and Mama Mary. Father Ernald and the Ateneo team, we are here po with Mayor Kimmer Olas.
Thank you very much again, Dr. Randy Deliosa and Vice Mayor Beng Climaco. Sir and ma'am, thank you so much for being with us on the show. I really appreciate all the time and effort you took for this, and especially for the discussion para moving forward, meron tayong, kumbaga, to really help families, because this is a battle that we must win for our children. So maraming salamat ulit, Doc Randy and Vice Mayor Beng. And thank you to everyone watching and listening. And I hope you took the words of Doc Randy and Vice Mayor Beng to heart. I hope you listened, so that these are things that can be applied, that you can apply in your families and in your relationships with your children. So this is Pia Ontiveros. Let's keep talking.